Okay, I'm getting the signal that this is now live. Uh, we shall see. It's an experiment. I've done it before, but it's been months since I've done it. But what I was going to say is, this is Random Thoughts with Random Access. I'm Random Access, and these are my random thoughts. And today I want to talk a little bit about less is more. But let me give you can find me on Facebook with Random Thoughts with Random Access on Facebook, and also on Twitter, Random Thoughts with Random Access on Twitter. You can send me some tweets, send me some Facebook messages, and I want to one. I'd like to know that that this is actually working, um, or that so. But that would require someone to actually be there, which it's probably asking too much at this point. But if somebody does want to send me a tweet, go ahead and send me a tweet. I'm going to keep my eyes open on my Twitter line for that, or leave me a Facebook comment. And this is completely unprepared, spur of the moment. Not that I'm usually overly prepared, but sometimes I'm more prepared than this. That's one thing I'll say. Um, so if let's how do I make this go away? Uh, Turn off chat. Okay. Okay. Turn off chat for all friends. Okay. Nasty Facebook's got my chat window opened up right in front of where people would leave a Facebook comment if, on the outside chance somebody would send a Facebook comment. And I don't know how to make this chat thing go away. Up there. No, it went away. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay, I probably shouldn't turn the chat off because somebody could send me a chat. Well, less is more. This is less with quality, but you're getting more quantity. So, you got a little bit of positive and negative. The inspiration for this less is more title is a weight loss effort. Yeah, my weight has always been out of control. Well, not always, but certainly since I've been an adult, my weight's been an issue, and it's just constantly gone up. I don't think my weight's ever really gone down significantly, and up and up and up and up every year. Add about 10 pounds a year for 30 years, and then figure how much this person weigh. I started out 200, add 10 pounds a year for 30 years. Now you're at 500, and I got over 500 at the doctor's month ago, 515 pounds, quarter of a ton. And my body is it can only take so much. So now it's a matter. Okay, well, how much effort do I want to take in to get the weight down, and how far down do I want to get the weight? That's another issue, right? You want to just get down. Is 20 pounds enough? When you weigh 515 pounds, 20 pounds is nothing. 100 pounds is nothing. I mean, so I guess maybe my first goal really is get down to 475. I guess that little goals out there. Last time I weighed, I've only been doing this about a month now, so it's not like a real I'm really deep into this, and you're kind of easing into the process of doing it. Uh, it's a major change in lifestyle. Uh, Increase exercise, but I'll move around a little bit more. Kind of exercises when you're 500 pounds is very difficult, especially for me. The beating my body's been taken over the years. It's a sore knee, sore hip, bad back. It's hard to stand sometimes for an extended amount of time. So, the prospect of actually exercising, if I can just stand and walk around a little bit, I'm doing good. So I've been doing that a little bit more. But as far as diet, yeah, at least for now, I'm gonna say I cut out all my carbohydrates, but 99% of them, almost all of them. So the bread, pasta, potatoes, this kind of thing. Even starchy vegetables like corn and peas. That's out. Um, the fat probably cut down a little bit. Sugar way down. Um, yeah, but I like my barbecue sauce. I put barbecue sauce on stuff. So that's got some sugar in it, I'm sure. Yeah, in fact, I know it does. And but more use of hot sauce. Oh, eating yogurt. Make chicken salad with yogurt instead of mayonnaise. In fact, I got a batch going on now that I made. Now wasn't bad. It was a chicken salad with yogurt and salsa, and I threw some mandarin oranges in there. So that's a little bit kind of crazy. Mix it up a little bit. Um, but that's the thing. So what is my weight now? I have no idea. I think it's I've been doing this about a month. I hope it's under 500. I mean, it started at 515. I feel like I've lost some weight. My clothes are feeling a little bit differently. They're fitting a little bit differently the way they fit. So that's that. Okay, well, enough of that nonsense. Okay, so that's less is more, but less is more. They can mean a lot of different things. So it's kind of we'll let that go there. But, kind of looking up instead of looking at the camera. May have figured out there's one way to do this. Put the camera in a different place, but I got the screen up there. So I'm looking at myself at the screen. Why I'm looking at myself on the screen, I don't know. I just am. On the screen here, I'm looking at my tweets and my Facebook, just in case somebody were to pop in with a Facebook comment on Random Thoughts with Random Access, or send me a tweet there at Random Access. Staying away from politics as much as I can, which means only several hours a day. Excuse me. I could get really wrapped up in this. I have a ongoing issue with bipolar, and some things can get really triggered mania-wise, and a lot of times it's politics. It does it, believe it or not. It seems like every 4 years, I mean, almost like clockwork, manic episodes, full-blown mania too, craziness. But it seems to be, I don't want to blame the elections, but that seems to be part of it. I start getting fixated on it, and my mind gets locked into a certain way of thinking, and then it becomes like a runaway train, and then I can't get away from my own thoughts. But try to stay away from the politics as much as possible, and it's especially good to stay away from it now because it looks like it's probably going to play out not good for me. I'll throw it out there. I'm a Sanders supporter. I've always been a Sanders supporter, I think, at heart. I've always liked Bernie Sanders. I always respected the fact that he was never in a party. He always was an independent from Vermont. I'd say always, but he's famously an independent from Vermont. Did caucus with the Democrats because they tend to align more with his policies than the Republicans do. So just as far as caucusing in Congress, he hangs out with the Democrats, but he's not really a Democrat. I wouldn't say he's a Democrat. In fact, very little about him as a Democrat. He's very progressive. He's a liberal. I think he even calls himself a democratic socialist, right? So this is it's like socialism. I mean, socialism I think is a good thing. I mean, people it gets a negative rap a lot of times, but I think that's a that's not really fair. But for people who have never experienced what democratic socialism looks like, what is socialism in the northern part of Europe, especially, look like, but little basic things that the rest of the world, can do that we can't figure out, like universal health care. And people go on and on about like why it won't work in America, and it's all just poor excuses in my mind, because every country in the world has figured it out. So, if every country in the world, so hundreds of different countries, hundreds of different governments, hundreds of different systems, they've all figured it out. And for us to say, oh no, we can't do it, it just doesn't make sense to me. The reason we say that, of course, is the insurance lobby, right? There's too much at stake once it's been privatized. It's hard to take a business that's been privatized and then make it public. Because somebody's going to complain, somebody's going to cry, and it's going to hurt somebody's wallet. Somebody's going to make a lot less money if we do this. and I'm sorry, but that's, we got long-term things. I think of there's like five things I like to think about that, I put them under human rights, but is it really a right? Do you have a right to health care? I don't know if it, because what does it mean to have a right then? Now you get into philosophical arguments. But I like to think that the tribe, and then I won't define what I think a tribe is at the moment, but the tribe is responsible for making sure that all members of the tribe have clean water, have nutritious food, have dry shelter, have education to be to survive and flourish within the tribe, and healthcare, in the tribe. All tribes had witch doctors, right? They all had somebody who was in charge of the health of everybody, and everybody could take advantage of the witch doctor. And I never studied all this stuff, so this all could be apocryphal, and they could just make it up as far as I know. But I like the idea of the witch doctor that everybody takes care of. Um, make sure the witch doctor has food and blah 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 blah, and maybe a little bit of live a little bit of luxury compared to the other members of the tribe. The witch doctor generally a highly esteemed member of the tribe, and their job is basically just to make sure that people are getting well. But the system also has this thing, at least this is what I've heard, is that while you're sick and under the care and treatment of the witch doctor, you basically, you're not responsible for taking care of them, right? You pay the doctor when you're well, and when you're sick, you don't pay the doctor anymore, and the doctor works to, So I mean that kind of thing, it's a good play on it, because that's really what we want from our medical care, right? We don't want to have to use it, right? We want it to be there when we need it, and when we need it, we don't want to be burdened with things like cost and availability, or whatever nonsense. When you need it, you need it. But when you don't need it, you don't want to have to think about it too much, but you want it to stay there and ready. So, but in insurance, I guess it's almost like insurance, but it's not quite insurance. Insurance has really been a scam for me. But that's it. But what was the whole point of that? This is a random thoughts and random access. So sometimes I start on a thought, and it triggers another thought, and then conversation ends up somewhere where who knew where it was going to end up? I didn't know, but now I know. But Bernie Sanders, I think he's really big on those five things at least. I mean, that's five basic things, and I really don't feel like the Democratic Party fights for those things very hard. I mean, they paid lip service to it, and certainly the Republican Party doesn't really fight for these things. I mean, they keep thinking more defense spending. I mean, I think as people's some of the basic ideas that people have about the political parties are, one is for more defense spending, and one is for less defense spending. One is for more for family values, and one is more for, I don't know, hedonism or something. Whatever. People have really distorted views of what these parties represent. But generally, I mean, I think just some common sense things is really what I support, and I'd like to see a mix. Yeah, that's why I don't like the parties. Is they kind of divide up all the issues into two camps, and you pick the camp which has most of the issues that you're interested in. But I'd like to try and fight for all the issues that I want to support, and that requires more parties, no parties, more independence for sure. And generally, I would have to say, when Bernie Sanders talks, I like pretty much everything he says. I mean, do I 100% agree with him? Well, no, that's a ridiculous thing. I don't 100% agree with anybody, but I mostly agree with him, and I don't vehemently disagree with him on anything I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, there's not like any one thing that he's done, said, supports that I think, oh no, absolutely not. He's so wrong on this issue. The issues that he's strong on and speaks about are issues that he's thought long and hard and deep about, not issues he's been paid to think about. He's not working for. He's not, just echoing a lobbyist talking point, which I really feel like most of the parties, they do that, right? You basically you toe the party line. Parties get a lot of money, and they handpick their candidates, and to some degree, you have to toe the party line. Now, great example of that is watch what's happening right now, 2016 here. We're in May, and it looks like Trump has got it. And for a year, the Republican Party, the establishment party, did not like Trump. Right? They laughed at him. They talked bad about him. They did everything they could. And then when he got the nomination, he just steamrolled everybody. They're lining up because it's all about party unity. Party unity is so important. It's more important than actually getting a good candidate. Is party unity, and to some degree, to a lesser degree, to some degree, the Democrats, the DNC, is going through that right now, with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, with the head of the DNC, Wasserman Schultz. She's strongly supporter of Hillary, and she had less than flattering things about Sanders, which as the head of the party, she really should not be weighing in on any of this until, ever really. I mean, once we get a candidate for the party, then she can support the candidate for the party, but she shouldn't really be speaking ill of any member, either one of the candidates. Let the people sort of figure it out. But that's how that goes. But there was a point to this. But Bernie, I had talked earlier, he's independent, famously independent, although he is in the Democratic Party and has been for the last year, specifically to run for president. And of course, the Democrats and Hillary Clinton made a case for that too. It was like, he's not even really a Democrat. He's just kind of like, well, when people say that, it's like, she's not saying he's not really a Democrat because he doesn't support our democratic values, which is what you would typically mean when they say somebody's not really a Democrat. Well, they're not really a Democrat. That's what you might say about somebody who's just like a Democrat in name only, like Dino, right? So like a Rhino, Republican in name only. You say, oh, they're not really Republican. They're not really Democrat. When you typically say that, you mean that they don't really support the platform of the party in any real sense. Not they don't generally agree with, but Bernie does. He lines up, to say he's not really a Democrat. What she's saying is, that technically he didn't join the party until very recently, a year ago. So it's an interesting play on that. But it's also interesting when you consider it's coming from her. She is the wife of Bill Clinton, of course, first lady for 8 years. But then she went on to become senator from New York. She moved to New York 7 months before she was elected. She's not really a New Yorker. Like just like Bernie, not really a Democrat. She's not really a New Yorker. She just moved here because there was a seat that was going to become available in New York, which the Democrats have a really good chance of winning Democratic seats, winning seats in Congress and in the Senate in New York. So this is a great place to run for a political position as a Democrat. If you're a Democrat and you want to run and for Congress, picking a blue state like New York, it's a good place to be. It was all just political gamesmanship, and she came here. Okay, whatever. And we can argue whether that was good or bad on her, but I just find it very interesting that she's now using basically that argument against Bernie, saying, "Oh, he's not really a Democrat." Many of us have spent a lot of years in the Democratic Party raising a lot of money for other candidates, right? And that's another complaint about Bernie Sanders, is he really hasn't raised that much money for down-ticket candidates, and over the years he hasn't done much to raise money for Democratic candidates. And is that a reason for him not to be president? I mean, I think if he can do a good job for the country, and part of doing a good job for the country, or supporting certain issues, is timing, right? There's maybe Well, 30 years ago, it was too early for somebody like Bernie Sanders. We know this because we had Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter and Bernie Sanders, I bet you they would agree on almost every topic, right? They were, but at that time in American history, maybe Jimmy Carter was a little too left for America. And he really was, because we replaced him with Reagan, and that started us down a 30-year march, 35-year march now of just marching to the right, marching to the right, marching to the right, to the point that Hillary Clinton has more in common with Ronald Reagan than she does with Bernie Sanders. On important issues, minor issues, whatever. But I think on the really important stuff, she lines up pretty close with Reagan. But then Reagan took a step to the right. Reagan from California governor, that Reagan, to even in his presidency. But although he started that march right, because it really gave the GOP a real, a good comeback from Nixon and Ford. They got a president that people loved. People, no mistaking it. When Reagan was in office, he was pretty much loved. There was people who found him very dangerous and really not real sure. Who is this guy? Can we really trust him? And but generally speaking, the people like them. Trickle down economics, bad idea, terrible idea. Let's give more money back to the wealthiest people, so they'll reinvest that money in America, and in the long term, it'll create more. It'll stimulate the economy and create more jobs, and that is the most ridiculous thing anyone's ever heard. And the fact that people believed it, even to this day, just amazes me, because everybody knows economies grow from the bottom up. Economies do not grow from the top down. Money flows up the chain. That's how people get rich, as the money starts somewhere and it flows to the rich people. That's just the way money flows in an economy. Money does not flow down in an economy. So if you want to stimulate an economy, you pump money in near the bottom. And actually, the closer to the bottom you pump the money, the more economic activity you create. Now, whether that leads to actual opportunity is another thing. But, poor people spend money. That's just... they need food. They need to pay rent. They need to pay their bills. And if they don't have money, they're not paying those things. So you give them money, now they're paying those things. So now you've got extra, activity going on. When you give money to the rich people, they're already spending all the money they need to spend. They don't need to spend this. Okay, you give me more, I'll just put it in the bank. Rainy day fund. I'm like, why would I take extra risk with it? I got as much risk going on as I want. Why would I risk my own money anyway? That's the whole part of risk. You go out and you get a loan instead. I'll let the banks front my risk. Give me more money doesn't make me want to do anything. It just never made any sense to me, especially since we know for a fact that that grassroots economic activity is what drives the economy, because it creates demand, right? When you spend more money, when people start spending money, that creates demand, and that demand has to be met. And then now businesses get involved and start doing the hiring. That starts creating the opportunity. Is increased demand creates opportunity. Increased demand is what stimulates the economy. And what drives increased demand is some extra money in the pockets of people who aren't able to spend as much as they're spending now. They want to be able to spend more. Of course, taken to an extreme, that's not right, of course, and then the people will use the extreme examples, say, you should give everybody $1 million. They talk about this, the minimum wage argument. We want to move the minimum wage up to a living wage in this country. A person who works a full-time job, especially, this seems reasonable to me. Here's what seems reasonable to me. Two people working in a family. One should be able to work a full-time job, and one should be able to work a part-time job, and still be able to raise, 2, 3 kids. You know, two full-time jobs to demand that I take two full-time jobs to raise kids. That's asking a lot because someone's got to be there to take care of the kids, right? The kids got to get shuttled off to school. They got to come home. You got to make appointments for kids. You got to deal with kids during the day. You can't have a full-time job schedule really and take care of kids. I mean, you can, but to demand that of everybody, to say that's the minimum level, that's not right. But something like a minimum wage job, a job and a half, should be able to, a family 4 or 5 should be able to survive on that, which they definitely can. So we say we want to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. And then people take that to extremes. They say, well, if you're going to pay them that much, why not pay them $100 an hour? Nobody's talking about paying them $100 an hour. They say, oh, raise the minimum wage is just going to hurt the economy. That's never happened. Never in the history of the United States have we ever raised the minimum wage and had it hurt the economy. It's always helped. Because it's always, whenever it's done, it's not to $100 an hour. Yeah, that would hurt the economy. But it's always been done, so that it was kind of a living wage, though. I mean, people used to be able to live on. You used to be able to go and get a job and support a family. This is, of course, way over minimum wage now, but I was reading a story of a guy who talked about when he was first getting out of high school, and instead of going to college, or before he went to college to save up money for getting to college, this was back in the 70s, he got a job at a canning factory, and he was making $12.50 an hour. And he was able to save a lot of money for college, and he was able to pay for his college from what he saved. Fast forward to now, he's retired, and the only job he can get, or the jobs that he can get out there now, pay $12 an hour. and you can't save money to go to college, first of all, on $12 an hour. You used to be able to. College used to not be that expensive. College is up there with medical care as far as things that have just really just blown out of this, just unbelievably expensive. Other countries in the world can figure out a way to make college free. Oh, okay, it's not free. Everybody pays for it, right? They pay for taxes. I hate having that argument. People say, "Oh, I support free medical care and free college." And people, "Oh, it's not free. Somebody has to pay for it." Yeah, okay, we understand that. When I use the word free, obviously I don't mean it's free. I mean it's as an individual who's using that service at that time. I don't pay for it by use. My use of that service is covered because of the fact that I'm in the society, and and society pays for it. But I'm part of the society too, so I am paying for it. And with things like education, you pay for it basically in the back end. You get your education, you get yourself into a career that makes a lot of money. Now you pay a lot of taxes, and those taxes more than cover the cost that the government put into investing in your education. I've heard studies saying, investing in education, there's like a 700% return on any money that's invested in education, which is, to me, sounds like one of the greatest investments in the world. And so, we should be investing a lot more money in education, which we don't. We just always want to cut education, especially, this. Get me started here. Down in Florida, a lot of retired people. They want to cut education because I don't have any kids going to school. Why do I care? I want my tax money in my pocket instead of going to education. It's like, it's that. It's a motto. I think of Republicans when I think of this, or conservatives. Or more Republicans, I guess, than conservatives. But the fuck you, I got mine. Right? It's like everything they do is it seems like it can be boiled down to fuck you, I got mine. So these old retired people who they got their education, they got their career, they worked their career, and now they're retired and they don't want to kick anything in. They don't want to pay for the education of the next generation. And I hear this about people complaining about the younger generation. Well, what is their prospect now? What are they looking forward to? Kids now just starting college looking forward to $100,000, $250,000 in debt when they get out of college for jobs that as I just mentioned before, as a little indication there, jobs that paid the same as they paid 40 years ago. That's your job. You can get out, you're gonna have $100,000 in debt, and you're gonna get a job that pays, $15, $20 an hour. How are you gonna pay off $100,000 debt? How are you gonna be able to do that and buy a house? You know, where back in the 70s, you know, for $12 an hour, you could save enough money to pay for college so you could graduate from college debt free. You get your job that pays $15, $20 an hour, and you buy a house. So it was easy to do. Now we're hamstringing the kids, and what's going to end up happening? I mean, this is going to happen is that college debt is not going to get paid off. I mean, I don't know what it's up to now in this country, but a lot of that college debt is never going to get paid. Because people can't pay it. I mean, we say they're going to pay it, and we imagine they're going to pay it, but I don't see how it's going to happen. It just gets folded in with the debt and doesn't get paid. So, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's that. But again, I'm trying not to get too sucked into all this politics stuff because I really don't want to get myself going. So what does that mean I'm doing with my time? Well, right now, there's a lot of it is work. Is getting used to being able to accept a radical change in my diet. It's not a fad diet. A diet is not I understand all that. It's a lifestyle, right? So I have to try and change my lifestyle so that the way I eat is more healthy. And there can be fluctuations in there that look like fad diets. Like for now, it's very little sugar and very low carbohydrates. That may have to just turn out to be forever. No, it won't be. I love. Now, I'm not a big fan of sugar necessarily, but I love my carbohydrates. Oh man, and especially when they're dipped in fat and fried. So potato chips or pizza, chicken wings, pasta, mashed potatoes, stuffing, sandwiches. You know, um, I can make anything a sandwich. With good bread. That's just okay. So I have to accept that's what I love. I have to accept that when I'm at 515 pounds, I probably shouldn't be doing that. Not as much as I've been doing. So it's a matter of cutting back and learning to be moderate. Less is more. So, moderation. I guess that's one of the things that moderation teaches you is that less is more, to a point, right? I'm not talking about the Laffer curve here. These people, if we taxed everybody at 100%, then there would be no money, and then nobody would ever work, and so we have to lower taxes. So they keep lowering taxes, and then when you argue about it, then they bring out the Laffer curve and say, well, look at this. If we tax it 100%, it would, there wouldn't, nobody would ever pay any taxes, nobody would ever work, so we can make you work harder by lowering taxes. And it's like, not from where we are, but it's like they have this weird notion there. So, oh, whatever. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of my rambling day. This is Random Thoughts with Random Excess. I was doing this thing live in Facebook and on Twitter. You can see me Random Thoughts with Random Excess on Facebook. You can see me at Random Excess on Twitter. And drop me a message, send me a line. I'm gonna try and get back maybe into doing a little bit of this Facebook, YouTube type video, and do it live, and then of course it'd be able to view it in your leisure. So that's it for now. I'll try and have more prepared next time I do it. This was just more like I just felt like doing it right now. So let me just do this, and so I did. Here it is. But I will talk to you guys later, and keep coming with the comments and the likes, and all that other stuff that people say when they do stuff like this. And I will catch you on the rebound. Bye bye. And we're out. Oh, man. Well, that was something. I'm glad that's over. I didn't think it was ever going to end. So there, I was just rambling, just making up words. I don't even feel like I said anything. I have no idea how long I talked. What did I talk about? 10 minutes? Probably closer to 20 minutes. Maybe closer to 30 minutes. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm still on the air. I'm just joking around with you guys. Okay, I'm saying goodbye now. Bye-bye.